When the average person is asked to describe our natural world, it would most likely be a picture of a field, their last hike in the woods, or a trip to the beach and all of the critters that they may have crossed paths with during their outings. However, things may be a bit more bleak than that. We are stuck squarely in the middle of what has been called the Anthropocene. The Anthropocene, as defined by Merriam-Webster, is the period of time in which human activities have had environmental impacts on Earth regarded as constituting a distinct geological age, and it is through these human activities that we have seen increased global temperatures, rising sea levels, and the next mass extinction. If we keep following the same tactics that brought about the Anthropocene, those scenes of nature our fictitious friend described may not exist for much longer. But it is possible that our answers to our future may lie in our past. For those that these issues are a concern, like ecologists and those who are in charge of resource management, they require new ways to establish ecological baselines in order to understand the long-term ecological and evolutionary responses of ecosystems to anthropogenic impacts and natural climatic variability. They believe that history may offer insights into an ecosystem's change that can inform contemporary ecosystem management and challenge long-held assumptions about the limited influence of humans on Earth's ecosystems in the distant past. And with our current ecological conditions in the shape that they are in, it is important to look at historical and ecological data and documents of ecosystem structure and function through time, with and without human influence. These data also highlight the fact that ecological baselines and human perceptions of ecological conditions often lack historical perspective, and they may not account for long-term changes that may span decades, centuries, or millennia. I.e., think shifting baselines. Things don't always stay the same, as we know. The use of data of past ecological systems and structure and function to manage our current biodiversity has increased substantially, and as the application of historic and prehistoric data to conservation has grown, so has the number of terms associated with this research, including historical ecology, applied historical ecology, applied paleoecology, applied paleozoology, applied zooarchaeology, and conservation paleobiology. As humans, one of our biggest issues in conservation is really grasping the true scale and time at which these issues occur and propagate. To help combat this, we've come up with a few different terms. We use a scheme of macroscale, which is greater than 10,000 years, the mesoscale, which is less than 10,000 years, and the microscale, which is the human lifetime or shorter. And these offer a way to subdivide the different time frames that can be used to establish conservation goals. They may also help researchers transcend what is called the pre-1800 dilemma. That is, the dearth of data from before the 1800s. The compilation of as much ancient and modern data is integral for establishing the baselines needed for understanding our impacts. Although past ecological conditions generally cannot be recreated, historical ecological data can help assist in determining desired future conditions on the basis of past ecosystems and conditions, and the consequences of these interactions for understanding the formation of contemporary and past cultures and their landscapes. Conservation paleobiology is a synthetic field of research that applies the theories and analytical tools of paleontology to the solution of problems concerning the conservation of biodiversity. Theoretically, they could even bring us back to the origin of life. Conservation paleobiologists draw on data from the last few decades to 1 million years ago to investigate ecological baselines, geographic range shifts, extinctions, and the phenotypic responses to natural contributions. Challenges facing historical ecology is effective integration of the approaches from these different disciplines to help inform conservation. People argue that historical ecology can help unify paleobiology, archaeology, and history with conservation biology. That if we apply standardized methods to create a more dynamic and complete picture of our ancient and modern ecosystem structures and their functions, we can assist conservation efforts greatly. But the question remains on how to best apply these methods and historical ecology data to conservation biology.